Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the Council on Future Conflicts. My name is Scott. I am the proprietor of the Future Conflict channel. Today, we've got episode 618, World in Flames, and the U.S. isn't any better. And, of course, I'm always joined by... We've got a guest, by the way, today, so thanks, T, for showing up. Joe, how are you doing today?
You know what? I'm great. I'm a little sore because we just finished Kay's, what's it called? Gunfighter Concepts pistol course. And man, there's some running involved and some kneeling and getting down, up and down off the ground, and pretty darn good stuff. It was a great class. I recommend if Kay comes to town, y'all take it. It's been great. So recovering, but all is good.
Very good. Watcher, how you doing?
Oh, good. Up and at 'em and watching the country kind of fall apart. I don't know, man. It's if you have resigned yourself to everything's already going to go to shit, watching it go down quickly seems better than, hurry up and wait, right?
I suppose in some aspect, but
if the world is going to go to shit, this is why we need you to come out this summer to our event. And T, you might know a little something about this event.
Man, did you see that? That guy's a beautiful king of the segue. T, welcome.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, what's going on, guys? Appreciate you having me on. Yeah, he just slid that right in. That was smooth.
I tried.
Let me give a caution to everyone. That happens around Scott. Sometimes he slides it right in and you're surprised.
I knew it was coming.
I learned a lot of tricks in Turkey. What can I say?
Spent some time in a Turkish bathhouse. Okay. All right.
And a prison.
Well, look at the time, y'all.
On that note, T, tell us a little bit about mountain readiness and why it's important and why community is a big thing. But you and Watcher cannot go chicken dirt again. We have things to do today.
Yeah, that we went deep down it's not the rabbit hole, it was the chicken hole. That sounds vile. At the same time, though, backstage, we just got into a full-blown chicken breeding session right there, and that's what I'm about. And to be completely honest, y'all, that's what Mountain Readiness is about. We're about bringing back the skills of our ancestors that have been depleted over the course of the last few decades. And everyone thinks that their food comes from plastic wrapped, genetically modified garbage from the big chain stores. And everybody wants to learn from watching YouTube videos instead of getting out there and doing it like you were just doing this weekend, Joe. That's what we're about. Mountain Readiness, we're based out of Harmony, North Carolina. And this is our fourth year. And this year, 2026, we are expanding our footprint. Number one, we've got our event coming up in May, first weekend of May, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. We focus on everything: homesteading, tactical preparedness, anything to do with being a well-rounded American, because that's what it's about. You can't just be an expert in one area. You gotta branch out in all those areas, get all that knowledge. And then we're going to be heading, July 24th through the 26th? Joe? And right there with you guys in Swan Lake, Montana, doing the same thing. Tons of classes, all as many hands-on. We're going to be processing chickens, per the Watcher, who's going to hook us up with that, as well as some other animals, it sounds like, we'll be practicing on. And then, of course, in October, we've got the Sovereign Health Summit back in North Carolina with our keynote speaker, Barbara O'Neill. We also have Dr. Tenpenny, Doc Lee Merritt, Jonathan Otto, Pat Militich, all these great speakers in the circadian and alternative health that are coming together to teach you that there is alternatives to keeping yourself healthy than what the mainstream tells you about.
She's trying to get us kicked off of YouTube already this morning.
I didn't say how to fix yourself. I just said where to come to find out.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, I mean, the thing that I got from Joe's stories about the last Mountain Readiness was that there are just so many opportunities just to like let's assume you're not coming to spend money, right? You're coming just to kind of interact there. I mean, just alone the kind of community connections you can build with like-minded folks, pretty impressive. Joe said, like, on one side I've got militant body armor wearing gun people, on the other hand I've got holistic hippies, with pot brownies and
There were some brownies at the last.
I didn't know anything about that. Full disclosure, you can't hold me liable for anything to do with pot brownies. That was completely outside of the business hours. No, it is.
I'm just
it's
saying,
like,
I appreciate the dichotomy, right?
Well, yeah, that's what we're shooting for is, we had our good friend NC Scout out there. Matt was teaching, IR thermal, night vision, driving under nods. You could jump into the trucks with the IR headlights. That's a whole different world of training right there. We had, of course, Carl Erickson, the entire tactical rifleman team was out there teaching anything from setting up your battle belt to how to set up your kit. And then we had wild edibles and foraging and, just this huge, I think we were at 70 classes a day, from 9 to 5 running simultaneously. So you come out, you pay one price for that ticket that covers all 3 days. And you look at the schedule and you pick which ones you want to attend. And
I've heard that whoever you had teaching land navigation in October was good looking, smart, and did a fantastic job.
That guy killed it. There is some pictures even of that. But you can't make his face out because there's this bright aura admitting that took out everything of his facial features.
Here we go with the hippie stuff again.
Oh, boy. No, it was actually a great time. It was my first time out there, and I loved it. It's a fantastic event. Many of the people in the chat were out there. I see the Clark boys were out there. They were in the chat, Hunch, and several of the others. So if you didn't go last time, you need to go either to the one in North Carolina or the one in Montana. My preference is you come to the one in Montana, but that's up to you. You know what would be the ultimate thing? Go to both. Just go to both.
Go to both.
Yeah, I mean, T will be at both. Wes will be at both. Matt will be at both. Come on. Yeah.
But clearly, like if you're on the West Coast, we totally understand that you can't make it to North Carolina. Montana is very doable for anybody. San Diego, anybody west of the Mississippi. Montana is your place to go. And
I'll tell you, it's probably closer to North Carolina than it is to San Diego. But okay,
no. I'm just saying, if you live in San Diego, I'd go to Montana before I'd fly all the way to North Carolina. That's a 3.5 4 hour flight just to get there. And I was just going to say, if it's too much long of a drive, if you've got the change, I mean, there's a nice airport within driving distance, just a couple hours, an hour and a half, I think it was.
Yeah, we tried to trick Scott last time he came out with his dad. We tried to surprise him. But Scott, being Scott, figured it out beforehand because me and his dad both stopped answering his questions. And he was like, my dad's going to be there at the airport, isn't he? I'm like, yeah. Why do you ruin everything?
Man. But you can read these things, I'll just say.
It's a great deal. I love, because of the distance of driving, and it's huge. I think for me, it's going to be about 36 hours.
About 36,
one way to get to Montana. And so I get it in this day and age that we're living in where money is tight. The prices keep going up. You gotta pick and choose what you do. But if you're talking about a family event, let's be honest, this lone wolf thing doesn't work, guys. It doesn't. It is good to have the skills if you get stuck and you have to do it by yourself. But community needs to be your number one priority.
Yes.
And we just do not grow as human beings by locking yourself away, secluding yourself from anything and everything, right? It's getting together with other like-minded folks that broadens that horizon, that gives you those extra skills, those ideals that you just can't do withering away, secluded from the world.
Well,
Yeah,
you know,
it's the best thing at every event. I'm sorry, Scott. I have to get this out.
Go ahead.
And I will forget. I saw this again yesterday at the end of every class when the guys are all huddled together and exchanging phone numbers and emails because they spent that time together and invested in each other, and they're going to do even more of it after the event. You've got to get out and meet each other and do things. And some surprising things might happen, like T might get up on stage and amaze you with his ability with a microphone. You never know. He might get up there and sing for you.
Yeah, I know nothing about that. It's just hearsay. I don't even think there was any video of that.
I know why you know nothing about that, because you had a couple of beverages before you got up there.
Well, so T, I want to ask some questions about just like what you have a lot of opportunities to kind of touch a lot of the people who are providing services to the community, but also the community itself. Where's their head at right now? Because there's a lot of friction points going on, especially in the domestic scene. What are the demands for what Mountain Readiness can provide to the community? You know, how have those shifted in the last couple of years?
Yeah. I got distracted. I seen Joe just put in there that last comment, and I was like, "Oh man, I knew this was going to be one of those shows."
I could not resist.
Can't take this guy anywhere. You know, I will tell you, in the past few years, we have went from get all the training in that you possibly can to Trump is going to save us all, and you see this huge drop off and this huge decline.
Yeah,
we have
exactly
many other events have. And people just they get this false sense of security, like, you know, whoever is in office actually cares about them. And I'm going to be completely honest. I mean, did I vote for him? Absolutely. Do I think he's the second coming of Christ? Not even remotely close. And if anything, this is a time that I want to double down and prepare even more. You know, that's where I'm at with things. Take advantage of these lulls before everything goes completely off the rails and get all those ducks in order. And I think that's where we've kind of got, you know, people have comfortable. I actually have someone that is a friend of mine who called me up and said, "Hey, would you like to buy a whole bunch of gear that I've got?" And, you know, I'm not going to go into what that gear is, but I was like, you know, why are you selling this? He's like, "Well, I want a bass boat." I'm like, "What? Are you serious? You want a bass boat?" He's like, "Well, yeah, wow. You know, Trump's in, everything's going good." I was like, that's not an excuse to get rid of your stuff. But if you want to offload it for a discounted price, I'll take it off your hands. Look, guys, this is where we're at in the world today. And this is how people are, you know, perceiving this spot in history. Don't get your head out of the matrix. That's what I'm saying. Get your head out of the matrix, keep the nose to the grindstone, and keep pushing forward, because if anything, this right here, this says it doesn't get better. It gets a whole lot worse before it gets better. I don't care what politicians say.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, you're 100% right. I have to make two comments on the chat. First of all, Arctic Boy points out that if they can make it down to Montana from Canada, y'all can make it down from wherever you are. And we've actually had a lot of Canadians here over the last couple of years. So come on down. And as far as Jay Clark's comments about me and dancing, my security detail consisting of Jay Clark and Miss Dawn, Blue Angel, y'all failed miserably, and you will be punished.
You know, at the fear of transitioning off of the topic of mountain readiness, only kind of just slightly, you say from Canada, like it's a different place. My understanding is that Alberta will soon be Alberta, the only part of Canada that's important, will soon be part of the United States. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, but your Arctic Boy's not from Alberta, so
I know. But my point is that, like I said, the only part of Canada, or maybe 70% of Canada, that's worth anything is there in Alberta.
That's fair. That's fair. They have mountains, so they can be ready.
That's true.
Bam.
Mountain readiness north of Montana.
Very north. The problem is we can't do any tactical training up there with those Freedom Seed slingers. That would be the only issue there.
Well, you run into some Chinese military patrols based on the recent words of Mark Carney.
Yeah.
All right. What else? Anything else, Joe, you think we should tell the people about with mountain readiness before we kind of transition into the rest of the program today?
I said mountain readiness is not an event; it's a community, and you want to be a part of it and get to know folks and come on out. So I'm big on community. Come on out and meet each other in real time. Share a meal. I committed T to some things, including assisting us in the preparation of some meals. If we do process some of Watcher's chickens that I'll buy, we're gonna serve some of them. And those of you who've been out here met my man Yogi, my butcher, and he's gonna make some elk sausage, teach you how to do it, and we're gonna serve those. There's gonna be food, music, camaraderie, classes. You really don't want to miss it.
I couldn't agree more. And the people that we've got coming out here, I mean, I've got Pat Miletich, UFC champion, Hall of Famer, that will be doing some hand-to-hand combat classes out there. We've got, I think, Mariah Prussia, female MMA champion. Of course, you guys, Joe, living legend, icon, is going to be there teaching. As far as the cooking that I think I got kind of roped into, you will learn a new survival section of survival by trying to eat my food. If you can choke that down, you can survive anything. So there you go. I hate to ruin a perfect chicken, but that's where we're going.
Well, I'm just saying, we're going to have a lot of fun. Y'all need to get out here and come join us. I'll probably be able to talk Boilerman09. I don't know if he's in the chat, into doing some more cooking. He makes some good biscuits and gravy. There'll be a lot of good stuff happening. Come on out, have fun. And you know what? If Scott makes it, he might even do another cartwheel like he did the last time.
I'm just glad that I'm just glad that the video of that did never make it out into public.
We did. We showed it on this show.
We did. Yeah,
I know, but that show is gone into the ether. Nobody even knows where it is anymore. So
Juan Gringo says he's going to come on up, so that's a good thing.
Sweet.
Juan, if you want to chat about your experiences along the border, we'll put you on the schedule. So absolutely.
Sweet.
Texas Border Rescue. So outstanding idea.
Well, I'll tell you, it's almost 9 o'clock, guys, and I appreciate you bringing me on, but it's chicken time again. So I'm going to get out here and get after these chores. Thank you for what all of you gentlemen do, and appreciate you having me on here. I cannot wait for Montana West Mountain Readiness. It's going to be awesome, off the hook. If you guys can make them all, make them. If you can only make one, put it on the schedule. Make a vacation of it. You're going to love it.
Absolutely.
Thanks. We'll see you later.
Thanks. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
You, and one in the chat, we're going to be doing it in Texas as well, 2027. So be watching for that.
So, gentlemen, the world is not looking good. I'm just saying. I mean, it's
your perspective.
I mean, we have some bright spots on the horizon, but many of those bright spots potentially may be nuclear impacts. I mean, I don't know, Joe. You never know until you get over the curvature of the Earth what that glow on the horizon is, especially when it's in the opposite direction of the sunset or the sunrise. Let's get into the first one here, guys. I want to start this off talking about what I feel is going to be a dark note in the history of America, and that is what's gone on in Syria in the last just over the weekend. Sum it up, the U.S. has withdrawn its support to the SDF, the Syrian Democratic Forces, I think is what that stands for, and we have moved forces out of the way around the what was it? The Konica oil fields or gas fields that up in the north eastern corner of Syria. We've pulled our troops out, and the Syrian forces of basically recruited ISIS, HTS, Al Qaeda guys just poured in massive waves, and overnight the entire area has fallen. Raqqa, I don't know if you guys remember, Raqqa was the capital of the ISIS caliphate when it was in existence. That was taken over by the Kurdish militias with U.S. help, and that was then, and so that was kind of their capital of the Kurdish portion of Syria, but that has fallen. It's like I said, it's not looking good. Watcher, I've got some. I'll just drop some links here in the private chat, and you can show these. It's everything from prison riots to the locals. I mean, these are locals that cheered the arrival of the Kurds, but then now we see the locals cheering the arrival.
Downtown Minneapolis, wrong clip.
Minneapolis, right. Yeah, that's not sand, that's snow. These are the Somalis. So this is what you're looking at here is Americans withdrew from the Al-Hol camp where ISIS members were held. All ISIS members were released. So not a good situation in that area. Kind of moving on. I've got so many of these fucking things, but kind of hard to find them all at once. Joe, I mean, you and I have been saying that we should have pulled out years ago, and it's kind of like with the Ukraine, right? If you prop them up, they will continue to fight, and if you stop propping them up, then they will have to make a deal, right? And they didn't make a deal, and so now they're collapsing because the Syrians, who, let's be honest, Syria has way more people than the Kurdish region has, and this also goes to show, like, a lot of these forces, the Kurds were pretty potent as long as they had the Americans backing them up. Without the Americans, they're proving to not have as much backbone as we expected. I don't know, maybe some of the key fighters have left to go into Iraq, join the Kurdish region there, which is very possible. But a lot of these people are not just Kurds, they're just the locals who live in these areas. My time in Syria, the Manbij Military Council, MMC, was about 50% Arab. I mean, the YPG were there. Those are the Kurdish militias. But there were also other Kurdish groups. So it's disconcerting. I mean, what's your take, Joe? I'm sorry.
I think if you watch this video and you let this play out long enough, it appears as though they are the greatest danger to themselves.
I
agree.
Guy flags literally everyone on his own team. Right there, that was right in that guy's head.
I was gonna say, I thought that
dude was about to get domed. But they say that Syria's falling apart. Well, it never was together. We've been saying this from the beginning that them taking Damascus did not end the Syrian civil war. This isn't like an old school game of chess where you topple the king and you win. You have to actually be able to pacify the countryside, and the people have a say. So these areas have all been fighting each other for thousands of years. They're not going to suddenly stop because an Al Qaeda commander takes over one city. And CENTCOM didn't really. So let me clarify this. We didn't just let the ISIS fighters go. We actually pulled out and released everyone we had. And shock of all shocks, Islamic terrorists go back to being Islamic terrorists. News at 11, right? At this point, I think it's best to kind of wash our hands of the situation, let these people self-determine, and we just decide to get out of the way.
Yeah, I dropped another link in there, Watcher. This is a Reuters story here. Syria's Kurds just got sold out, and the U.S. watched it happen. The SDF signed a deal with Damascus that's basically a surrender. Oil fields, dams, border crossings, ISIS prisons. Their semi-autonomous region is all handed over. The Kurdish fighters don't even integrate as units. They have to go as individuals. No command structure, no leverage. That's the end of an independent Kurdish force. Deir ez-Zor, which is oil and wheat. Raqqa has the power. And, mostly that's, the hydro dam from the hydro dam. Once those go, the Kurds lose their money and their bargaining power in one move. The U.S. called it an inflection point, meaning we're done backing them. What actually happened is simple. Negotiations dragged on. Deadline passed. The Syrian forces pushed forward. Kurds got cornered and took the worst terms that they had rejected for months. Turkey's the big winner. The PKK-linked fighters got kicked out. Kurdish autonomy gets crushed. Ankara gets what it wanted without firing a shot. The Kurds saw this coming. SDF commanders were openly asking the U.S. to step in. After the deal, silence. They got the message. Now Damascus takes control of camps holding 50,000 plus ISIS fighters and families. That's a future problem. Prediction, prison breaks within months. Turkish pressure on what's left of Kurdish areas within a year, and the U.S. pretending none of it was a betrayal. I'll be honest with you. I don't see this betrayal. It's like, listen, we didn't have a fucking obligation to these people in the first place. And as soon as we helped them overcome the problem, which was ISIS, we should have got the fuck out of there. Because if we had done that, then they would have made, then the natural balance would have asserted itself. I'm sorry, Joe, go ahead.
It sounds to me like they're admitting that without us, they couldn't possibly fight for themselves. And we're not there to be the insurance policy, right?
Well, I mean, that's the problem, Joe, is that everybody thinks that we are kind of the backer of last resort. And if that's the case, then you don't need to be backed. And all the countries, I mean, so here's the thing. You guys know how I feel about Jelani, but ultimately speaking, you don't fuck with us, Jelani, and you don't fuck with the things that we think are important, and we won't fuck with you. We don't have to like every leader in the world, and we don't have to agree with every ideology. They just have to leave us the fuck alone. And leave the things that we think are important alone. And then if they fuck with us, then we drop the bomb on them. Then we Maduro them,
This tank appears to be missing a few blocks of ERA.
Yeah.
Down there in the front. That's a problem. I wonder what happened.
That tank has definitely seen better days. But then again, I'll be honest with you, Joe. I don't know that there's a T-72 in the world that hasn't seen better days.
Yeah. I wonder where they got this vehicle.
So this looks like a dingo, maybe from Australia.
Yeah.
So yeah, clearly they've acquired MRAPs and things like that from all over the world, and the dance is over and the Kurds lost. I appreciate the Kurds. You guys have heard me say on this show before that I think one of the most historically unrepresented people in the world are the Kurds. They've been fucked over by Turkey. They've been fucked over by Iraq, and they've been fucked over by Iran. Now they've been fucked over by Syria and the U.S. So, I mean, it's...
By the way, along the way, they allowed themselves to be sold down the river into communism. And commies get what commies deserve. So
yeah, 100% there, Joe. If they had embraced a different ideology, maybe you could have made a better argument. But ultimately, when you find the U.S. supporting a communist militia, that this is not an enduring relationship.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else on Syria? Oh, did you see they've already started pulling down? I mean, if you had any question, Kurds, what was going to happen? One more link here in the private chat watcher. I mean, let's be honest. You knew what was going to fucking happen. You should have made a better deal, and you should have made it a lot earlier. I guess my hot take of the day, Joe, was when I said that. When this is all said and done, Assad is going to be seen as the moderate influence in the region. And the Kurds should have made a deal with him back in 2017.
You know, let this be a lesson. There are a lot of people throughout my life that have told me, like, oh, governments don't necessarily need arms to be able to keep themselves free from other governments. Look at all these various different countries around the world who exist without armies, like Luxembourg. And I'll just say that they exist because they serve someone else's interest, and purely because of that. And the second those interests flip, if they're not able to defend themselves, this happens.
Yeah, I was going to say, look at Luxembourg's great history of resistance to the German war machine without an army. How'd that work out?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, here's the problem. Just when you want to feel bad for the Kurds and everything like that, just hit the link there in the private chat.
I was going to say, I don't, and it's literally because of this shit that I don't. Like, yes, you've pointed out exactly why I know. Like, I've not had sympathy for the Kurds for a very long time.
Is this guy speaking English? I don't even know.
I would guess based on the hat.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Socialists of America and the Libertarian Socialist Caucus. I stand in solidarity with the women's revolution in Rojava. BG.
My name is Kirsten. I work with the Libertarian Socialist Caucus of the DSA as well as Symbiosis. I stand with the women's revolution in Rojava. BG.
From the Pacific Northwest Social Ecology Retreat to Rojava, we send revolutionary greetings. BG, Rojava, free, nobody.
I've heard enough. I would be more than happy
for
them to all
I didn't know if you wanted
crash
it.
and burns tomorrow. Look at the
dental work that the United Kingdom had to offer.
Whoa!
What are you talking about?
Hey, you
Look at this
you
one.
cannot. I will remind you, you cannot read this aloud. But look.
Yeah, just look at this picture. I can't read this.
Huh.
Well, that's interesting. Very funny. But one, this is what happens when you base your entire national identity on cheese curds. And two,
Look at it.
sounded like a bunch of communist gobbledygook to me.
Yeah.
Oh. And every one of the men there looked exactly like you'd think they would. Men is
Wait, there were men in that?
air quote men. Air quote.
Oh.
Well, here's the thing. I feel bad. Here's who I feel bad for. I feel bad for the rank and file Kurd. Two reasons. A, they were betrayed essentially by their leadership because the leadership wanted the best deal possible, and they always thought that they would have Trump as their trump card, but that didn't happen. It's like you go to turn your trump card over and you realize it's fucking blank when you're wait a second, there was just an ace of spades here. What the fuck happened? And so who gets caught in the middle? Well, the regular dude, right? It's the same people that get caught in the middle in Ukraine and in Russia. People are playing power politics, and regular people get crushed in the middle. And you're seeing right now these Kurdish prisoners being taken prisoner by essentially ISIS and Al Qaeda retreads, and it's fucking disgusting.
I wonder how many American leftists
won't be prisoners long.
I wonder how many American leftists are among that.
God, I hope
it's not.
They probably flew out because they had money.
Maybe. There is a non-zero chance that the number isn't zero.
I see that some folks in the chat have the same thought that I did, but I would check that man's passport. I'm pretty sure he's been to Djibouti very recently.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to point out also that girl's teeth is what you get when you get socialized medical care.
That's after the fix.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Hunch, you are okay. I was a little concerned knowing what your weekend was going to be like when you didn't answer my text message this morning. So I'm glad you are alive. I hope you have the same number of holes in your body as you started the weekend with. So.
All right, gentlemen. Let's see. Let's moving on. Yeah, same region, but different story. We've got the. I've got this link already prepped here. Let me Let me get to it. Same region, different story. We've got Iran ? Are we ready to see it pop off over there? We kind of called this earlier. Was it middle last week, Joe, that the announcement of the Abraham Lincoln was moving from the South China Sea towards the region, the Middle East, the CENTCOM AOR. And so this is a story by Mario Naval. His source is Mensch Osint. Let's see. USS Abraham Lincoln moves into strike range on Iran. The U.S. Abraham Lincoln is moving into a position where it could hit Iran within days. At its current pace, it's in strike range around January 23. Did I give you the wrong link, Watcher?
I have it now.
So,
yeah, I was.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you got it. That doesn't mean the attack is decided. It means the U.S. is creating pressure. A carrier in range gives Washington options: airstrikes, deterrence, or just intimidation. It's a way to say we can act fast without actually pulling the trigger. Trump's pattern matters here. He uses force as a bargaining chip. Big visible military moves, lots of uncertainty. Then he waits to see who blinks. He's done with this with Iran before. He's done it with North Korea. So the real question isn't will he attack on January 23rd? It's whether Iran does something dumb or whether back channel talks start because the clock suddenly feels real in Tehran. Right now, that it looks like leverage, not a launch countdown. But once the carrier's in place, mistakes get expensive very fast. So absolutely right. This gives Trump option. It creates dilemmas for the Iranian regime, but ultimately those stealth bombers with bunker busters are the real kind of sword of Damocles, like literally hanging over.
I'd like to point something out here. Mensch Osint, sure. An aircraft carrier can move at 20 knots, but only if she leaves her escorts behind. So
right, yeah.
That's a very optimistic
Unlikely.
outlook. It's probably closer to 10 to 14 days before she is there because she's not going to cross that water. She's not going to round India without her escorts. So
yeah, Joe, you're absolutely right because all of those escorts rely on the tenders, the oilers, in order to keep them
as fast as the
refilled.
oilers can go. Yep.
Which, gee, is an issue you really think that the Navy should have been interested in fixing by now.
Well, the carriers go so fast because they're nuclear powered, and none of the other ships.
Oh no, I know. What I'm saying is, you might have thought of maybe getting an oiler that could keep up with the fleet when it needs to make max movement actions, or pre-stage them so that you don't have to worry about them keeping up, or a number of other options. But instead, we allowed our oiler fleet to diminish to the point where we have just enough that they can tag along with us. I mean, until very recently, obviously.
I mean, Joe, I think like what's your best case scenario for Iran?
That they leave office and are able to escape into Russia. I think.
Yeah. My same for here because then the only problem becomes who picks up the pieces, right? Like that would still leave most of the IRGC leadership still in country. The military would be intact. And then, but if they left, you would essentially see, you would essentially see them, a void, if you will. And you may have factionalizing, you may have balkanization, but you also may have the people honestly taking up the mantle and starting the shit on their own. Now, here's the problem. You got a lot of destabilizing factors in the area, right? You've got the Iranian, militias from Iraq, right? The Shia militias from Iraq. You've got the military. You've got the IRGC. You've got various other kind of regional power blocks. You've got the Kurds up in the northwest. You've got the Baluchistan folks down in the southeast. In the center, the kind of the gut shot center of the country, you've got all Persians. And I think Persians are basically 75% of the populace, but there's plenty of armed kind of outliers and stakeholders outside of the Persian community. And you're starting to see militants within the Persian community also raise up. I'm going to drop a link here, watcher, for us to check out. This is some mass gunman, and he has a message from an immortal guard of Iran. I mean, well, the immortals, right, Joe? That's the they're
The immortals go back a couple thousand years. Yeah,
that's right. The numbers they have told you are lies. They say 12,000 people were killed. This is completely false. They've killed more than 30,000 people. There'll be no more talks with you. We will no longer ask you to join the people. I swear on every inch of Iran's soil, what we will do to you will be recorded in the history of Iran. We will show you soon. We will show you no mercy. We will show you a death that you could never have imagined. We thank everyone outside of Iran for being our voice. We see you. Let's say, may we all see you in Iran soon. Long live Iran. Long live the king. The one thing, Joe, that I've been really surprised by is almost every major protester kind of mouthpiece that's coming out of not just the ones in the West, right? The West is almost entirely pro Shah, right? But inside the country, I'm really surprised about groups that I'm seeing saying "Long live the king" like, as the chants. Up in the Kurdish region, you saw them saying the same thing. Pahlavi seems to have at least some sort of a, I guess you would say, a kind of like he's a lucky charm for these folks. I don't think they want to live under a king, but I think they want some sort of unifying presence, and maybe that's what they see him as.
I'm not sure how you can say they don't want to live under a king when he literally just said, "Long live the king." However,
yeah, yeah, this one notwithstanding, I just don't know that that's the case.
Okay, that makes sense. Anyway, so here's the thing. What I found noteworthy in that video was the lack of an Allahu Akbar, which is interesting because even the king is a Shia Muslim.
Yeah.
So I find that interesting. And actually, I find that as sort of a promising note, but I don't hold out much hope because Shia Muslim's gonna Shia Muslim, right? Who is this guy Allah and what's he got against airplanes? But the big risk here is that it comes out and these people beg for a true Middle Eastern dictatorship and they get one, right? We don't know what Pahlavi is going to end up being. We have what we think he's going to be because he's been educated by Western society and he's lived in Western society for so long that perhaps he might bring some sort of Western democracy. But the man hasn't spent his entire life dreaming to be king to just give up being king. He doesn't want to be king for a week or a day. He wants to be king for the rest of his life. And I will point out that we know of another Middle Eastern leader who spent most of his life under Western influence, yet when he returned to take power, he became a horrible, evil man, and that is Bashar al-Assad. So,
yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's one of those kind of things like, you know, he professes that he just wants to be a transitional power or something like that. I think I'll be honest with you. Here's my take, Joe. I think he wants to be like the Queen of England. He wants to have all the kind of the glory and all of the, you know, being hailed as the king, but he doesn't want any of the real responsibility of running the country. That way he can say, hey, it wasn't on me, guys. I didn't fuck it up, because this is going to be a tough nut to crack when they have to start stitching this egg back together again. Because this is,
I don't know. I have never once heard him say he wants to be a transitional power. I've heard him say he wants to serve the people of Iran, but I've never once heard him say he wants to be a transitional power. And Derna, I'm going to say right and wrong. Yeah, Hamid Karzai turned out to be the same, but it's not Hamid Karzai. Hamid Karzai was always in Afghanistan. He briefly left and went to other countries in the Middle East, but he did not come to the U.S. That was his brother.
Yeah, it was his brother. Thank you. I was wrong about that the other day, guys.
Yeah. Karzai was always involved with the Northern Alliance, and he might have been in exile in Pakistan, but he was still involved with the Northern Alliance. So.
I dropped another link here. This is a kind of message, the current message from the regime. Iran law enforcement chief says,
Hold on. Random PNW guy. I can't let that go by because it's one of the greatest movies of all time. You're right. I just can't wait to be king. Exactly right. Okay, go ahead, Scott.
He says, this is a law enforcement chief who says rioters have 3 days to surrender for major sentence reduction. Those participated in riots but were deceived have 3 days to turn themselves in. They will receive significant reduction in their sentence.
So I can translate this from Persian or Farsi into English for you all. They'll kill you now rather than killing you later. Your life sentence has been reduced to just a couple of days. So.
Exactly right. And we won't do any of the terrible stuff that we normally do before we kill you. We'll just do that. We'll just kill you. Let's see, a couple more. This is another kind of observer kind of, reporting on, just dropped in the private chat here. Breaking Middle East is bracing for impact. The United States is rapidly assembling serious military firepower across the region, and all eyes are on Trump. According to multiple reports, Washington is building a posture that gives Trump maximum flexibility from deterrence to full offensive strike option against Iran. Here's what's unfolding. So we talked about the Harrier Air Group. That's in place. 12 F-15 fighter jets have arrived in Jordan in the past 24 hours. Additional air defense system, aircraft, naval assets are expected to deploy in coming days. This is not routine movement. This is pre-positioning. This is how modern wars began, quiet, methodically, and decisively. Iran continues to escalate internally and externally, while the United States is now ensuring that the option is on the table. No speeches, no warnings, just assets moving in place. The message is unmistakable. If action comes, it will be fast, it will be overwhelming, and it will change the region overnight. The board is being set. All right, so I don't disagree with anything this guy said here. I just don't know if Trump has decided whether or not to use it. It may be a bargaining chip, but
I'll disagree with a couple of things. One, decisively. We were all told that they were indecisive. They had a strike in the air and moving and then canceled it. So that's not decisive, right? And two, making the mistake of believing that military power can change the region. Sure, you might destroy the Iranian regime, but that does not solve the underlying problems of the Middle East that have existed for, I don't know, about 3,000 years, or the big one that's existed for almost 2,000, about, let's see, what's 2,000 minus 700, about 1,300 years. So you have to solve a lot of these other problems before you actually change the face of the region.
Hey, Watcher, I just dropped a separate video. This goes back to the SDF. So just because the Syrians are clearly just rolling up doesn't mean this is that cheat code we were talking about. It's called the Thermal Night Cheat Code.
Oh, this is old video.
Bang. This is reportedly this is the SDF from just a couple days ago.
We showed this same video at least a month and a half ago.
I don't remember seeing this. If I just don't remember it. I'm not calling you wrong. I'm just saying I don't remember it. So I just thought this is interesting to watch because if you ever wondered why thermals are important, it's
the next tweet below says that that's old video from
footage was taken from AFPAC border region. Yeah, you're right. But still, that being said, it doesn't change the value of the video.
Thermal, yeah.
Right. That was really more what I was focusing on, more so than the SDF portion here. Anyway, so I guess the one other area I want to focus on before we kind of get to the domestic stuff is is some of the stuff going on with China. Watcher, I know you're my favorite China boo as far as somebody who likes to follow all the stupidity that China's doing. Anything that's jumped out in recent days to you about what's going on with China?
No. I think we talked about the fact that The main thing I've seen recently that even relates to China is the fact that there's trying to pull the story up now. There's 1 million Chinese babies who've been flown over or who've been had for the explicit purpose of being able to vote in American elections. Here we go. Which Breitbart found out about and broke this weekend.
Yeah, Manchurian generation. Let's see. Peter Schweitzer uncovers a birth tourism pipeline that could produce more than 1 million U.S. citizens born in American territory but raised in communist China who will become eligible to vote in our elections by 2030. In this explosive new book, The Invisible Coup, How American Elites and Foreign Powers Use Immigration as a Weapon, Schweitzer details how Chinese elites have exploited America's birthright citizenship policies. For example, if the U.S. territory of Saipan in the Pacific, more than 70% of the newborns in Saipan are PRC birth tourist parents who utilize the territory's 45-day visa-free visitation rules and the Covenant of the Northern Marianas Islands to guarantee that children have American citizenship. Joe, we've talked about this before, but one of the other things that I've heard is actual IFV babies being grown. I got a link here. Let me share it with you.
You have to think about, too, what this means from a chain migration standpoint. Once that child decides to claim American citizenship and move there, chain migration kicks in and they can bring over a massive number of family members under that policy.
Yeah, that 100%, Joe. So for the million children born there, you could bring in another 5 million people.
Absolutely.
In China. Yeah, from China. And they would be legal. They wouldn't be like somebody ICE could just roll up and get rid of them, right? They would be absolutely, they would have gone in the legal way.
They're natural born citizens, according to some people's interpretation of the 14th Amendment.
Right.
Which is false and incorrect.
So this is Peter Schweitzer's video here. Let's just give this a listen.
Saw Biden's border madness. But what if the next invasion is invisible? Through birth tourism, over 1 million Chinese nationals born on U.S. soil could soon be voting in American elections from inside China. Meet the Manchurian generation, U.S. citizens on paper who've never lived in America. Educated in CCP-controlled schools, indoctrinated against us, yet eligible to vote in our elections. #1 New York Times best-selling author Peter Schweitzer exposes the next threat we face. This isn't immigration. This is a political weapon. Read the book that reveals The Invisible Coup, available everywhere fine books are sold. Get it now. For the Manchurian.
Little breathless book trailer, never hurt anybody, but let's be honest, I think this is one of those kind of things which is probably actually worse than what he's even reporting on.
What's ironic is in the beginning when he was talking about the border invasion, half the faces on that were Chinese. So.
Yeah. Remember, Joe, when they had the entire Chinese pipeline coming up through the Darien Gap? I mean, it was like literally you had Chinese signs going all the way up.
As I point out, what's the #1 language spoken in Mexicali, Mexico? It's not it's not Spanish.
Yeah,
it's Chinese. Probably Changish, Chinese Spanish. I don't know.
Chinese and Spanish, yeah.
Spanese. That's pretty good.
I wanted to bring up, speaking of China, what is this?
It's a B-2 bomber waiting to bomb our head.
It took me a second to put the two together.
Yeah.
It's the Pablo Escobar meme with a B-2 bomber, just like.
Yeah.
All right, hold on a second. Let me find. There's another China thing I wanted to talk about here. So Mark Carney, that total piece of shit from Canada, he went and sucked off Xi over the weekend.
Yeah.
Or was it last week? I can't remember. So this is a post from Mark Carney. A pleasure to meet with President Xi in Beijing. Canada and China are forging a new strategic partnership. We're leveraging our strengths, focusing on trade, energy, agriculture, seafood, and other areas where we can make massive gains for both our peoples. I guess he took some notes from was it Timothy Waltz? Our favorite CCP, agent or plant. Go down.
Go ahead, Joe. About this photo before we move on. Article 1, if you really zoom in good, you can see that Carney's wearing knee pads. Article 2 is, once again, we see that Xi Jinping, much like Vladimir Putin, is a master of the photograph. Who is clearly the person in control in this photo?
Yeah.
It's Xi Jinping. He's got Carney's hand in a tight grip, and Carney's is in sort of a wimp, Yeah, exactly. In a wimp grip. Carney is cheesing from ear to ear because Xi Jinping is giving him a minute of his time, and Xi looks mildly annoyed but amused by his pet. This guy knows how to stage a photo and always makes himself look like the larger-than-life character, and everyone else looks subservient to him.
What's the poly market for what there, Watcher?
Chances of Canada having a recession before 2027.
Oh, well, they're in a recession right now. Hey, go back to the Xi post. I want you to play a little piece of video. It's I don't know, about probably the 5th or 6th post down underneath.
Well, I mean, it's
that one right there. You just passed it right there. Yep.
Visit of a Canadian Prime Minister to China in nearly a decade. The world has changed much since that last visit. I believe the progress that we have made in the partnership sets us up well for the new world order.
Dramatic. Oh, I'm so dramatic. Look at me. Look at how dramatic I am.
I mean, you can't.
That's beautiful right there.
Oh, let's see. What is that?
Ironically, that's like an actual photo.
It is the year 2028. The world has been remade. When China and Canada has forged the Sino-Canadian Concord, the old nations dissolve overnight. Borders vanish. Flags merge. The red field of Beijing now cradles a single crimson maple leaf, pierced by 5 golden stars. The new capital rises where Vancouver once stood, a colossal megacity of a glass monolith, frozen surveillance towers where every street is named after a Liberal Party member and every citizen's breath is logged for carbon and loyalty compliance. Mark Carney, now Supreme Steward of the Northern Province, presides over the great realignment. Critical thought is reclassified as treason and treated with mandatory re-education in Arctic harmony camps. Vast frozen facilities where former YouTubers learn Mandarin through labor and gratitude sessions. Social credit replaces salaries. Politeness is weaponized. Thought is audited in real time via the Maple Eye network. In this world, harmony means total submission. Resistance is punishable by death. It is the new world order. Coming soon to approved streaming platforms only.
Last week, while I had some subjects of the crown here, I pointed out that Vancouver is better known by its proper name, East Shanghai, and that's not untrue, right?
So, my Canadian brothers, you probably want to bring home some auto repair parts next time you come and visit the United States. I'm just saying, I don't know what auto repair parts are. Are easy to get it back into the country. I'm just saying that's probably a good idea. You will be needing them. All right, Joe, have we lost you there, or are you still there?
No, I'm here.
Okay. All right. You want to talk a little bit about active-wisdom.com? Sure.
I wrote an article recapping the last 2 classes where I reviewed Kay's Ground Rod 1 course and gunfight concepts. Listen, if you haven't taken Ground Rod 1 and you're using a telephone or you're on the internet, you're wrong. Take the course, learn how to do it safely, learn how to protect yourself, and get a little more privacy-centric stuff going on your phone and computer. So it's a great class. He teaches you a lot of good digital tradecraft. Limit that pattern of life stuff that you're leaking out into the ether for protection against criminals, corporations, and tyrannical governments like the Chinese, not our benevolent overlords in Washington, D.C., who only do good things, and Palantir will only be used for positives for American society. Anyway, take that class. And then the Combat Studies Group Gunfight Concepts one, it's not like every other square range class where you go out and you do a couple malfunction drills, you do a couple reloads, you work on your grip, and you fire a few rounds in the paper to make yourself feel better about it. He assumes you already have all that skill, and we just get right into how to run a gunfight and how to survive one. And let me just tell you, it doesn't involve standing still. So there's a lot of motion, there's a lot of teamwork, there's learning how to be safe around each other and to actually get out there and fight. And it's a fantastic course for that. You actually get out and run, you get out there and carry weights and do all kinds of crazy things. And at one point, you have to move a protected person around. And you might think, well, I don't do executive protection, but Kay points it out this way. Yeah, but you have a wife or a husband if you're a woman, and you have children, you have elderly grandparents that you might need to escort out of somewhere. So it's good to know the skills to do so safely. So really, really great courses. I highly recommend that you take them and get out and learn some new skills. When you look at what's going on in Minneapolis, understand that you're going to be in a situation where you have to make some pretty quick decisions and maybe make some pretty quick movements. I saw a video where a car pulled up to a stoplight and they just opened the doors and started kicking the people in it. You might have to make the decision that I have to get out, fight my way clear of that vehicle, and grab just my go bag and walk out of that city. You got to have the skills to do it. Come to a class and start learning things. Right. You also might want to learn how to secure your information so that Antifa doesn't already know who you are and where you are, because they're beginning to target people for their online content. So take some courses, learn some things, and maybe buy a book or two while you're at it. And I will be by Wednesday, I'll have updated our schedule for at least the first half of the year. So, good stuff.
Very good. All right, I have another brush beater ad for today. Let's see. Tonight we're staring straight into the domestic strife, tearing at the seams, rising tensions, featured communities, street level power struggles, and a very real possibility that the next crisis starts in your own backyard. When the grid flickers, cell phone towers go quiet, and the streets belong to whoever's loudest. Reliable communications becomes life or death. That's why we're proud to feature our sponsor, Brush Beater Store, led by NC Scout, the undisputed authority in real-world, no-compromise comms gear and training built for these exact same moments and price not to break the bank. Right now, the star of the show is the brand new Radtel RT950 Pro, a high-powered, feature-loaded VHF radio, VHF, UHF, and CB, right? So it's tri-band, right?
Yeah, it does all three. There are 3 bands on here, so yep.
Let's see. Handheld, that's made for serious domestic operators. 10 watts of clean output, tri-band, dual watch. Built-in GPS, APRS, positioning reporting, Bluetooth programming, Type-C charging, and a bright color display that's readable in sunlight or under stress. When the usual networks fail and you need to react your people across town and across the county line, this radio gets it done. Build the rest of your domestic comms kit around Brush Beater's trusted lineup. You got the Baofeng AR125. It's a rugged 10-watt workhorse. We've all got them. I've got one right up there in the background, and there's one right there in the center. That's the green radio. You've got the DMF8 affordable digital DMR entry point. You've got high gain handheld antennas, programming cables for field adjustments, comm pouches, speaker mics, covert out earpieces for staying low profile. He's got it all, but gear without skills is expensive plastic. Brush beaters training turns tools into power with the RTO course, teaches secure voice procedures, improvised antennas, frequency planning, signals discipline, everything you need to run a net when the power is out and streets are angry. The advanced RTO course goes deeper, signals intelligence basics, electronic warfare awareness, operating in contested and denied environments, critical skills for staying one step ahead when the domestic strife turns into something more organized. Get that RT950 Pro for the full comms lineup and sign up for training at brushbeater.store/collection/trainings or collection/handheld-radio-HT. Use code CFC10 for 5% off all radios, accessories, and courses. Orders over $100 shipped for free. Big thanks to Matt at the Brushbeater store for keeping the Council of Future Conflict connected and on the air. Head to brushbeater.store, punch in CFC10, and make sure your group is still talking when the rest of the country goes silent. All right, back to the show, guys. One of my best ads yet, if I do say so myself.
I thought it was my Vanna Whiting of the Radtel 950 Pro. I mean,
I want to give you another. You're the one that said, "Hey, listen, we need to feature this radio," and sure as shit, he's got it there at brushbeater.store. So if it wasn't for you, Joe, I'd be up a creek without a fucking paddle.
This is one of those times when I got an email that says that your order from Brushbeater store has shipped, and I was like, "Oh, I wonder what I ordered." It was a Radtel RT950 Pro. So we'll be evaluating it, and we'll do an article on it once I've had it for a few days.
Yeah,
so pretty cool little tool. Good stuff. That was actually a suggestion from Kay that Matt carry this radio. So nothing wrong with having the capability in your backpack to do HF, VHF, and UHF all at the same time. So.
All right. So really the big story for today, and you guys have been watching this live on X and YouTube and all of the other socials, has been, what's going on in Minnesota. And let's be honest, I'm kind of glad it's just happening in Minnesota, but let's be honest, what we're seeing is essentially the spring is getting wound, right? And it hasn't popped off everywhere else, but let's be honest, there are leftists all over the country that are getting primed. This is like what we saw with the Summer of Love, right? Remember, it started priming during the lockdowns and everything. You had George Floyd go off, and that kind of set it loose, right? Well, I think what's really starting to wind this one was the killing of that good lady, completely justified. But that doesn't mean that, it's like they're completely out to lunch. So they don't see it that way. And I think once it gets warmer, and I think maybe you have an inciting incident occur from somewhere else in the country, it's going to spread. And I'll be honest with you, Joe, I don't see it spreading before April, but I think by about April, when it starts warming up in some of these fair weather cities, that's when you start seeing both the kind of the fair weather protesters turn out, and then also the local criminal adventure, looters and people like that just want to take advantage of the situation. And you've got potentially a third group of people who are really almost disinterested in the politics and just want to see the world burn, because those people came out in force. This first thing I want to drop in the private chat.
Can I answer what you asked me? Okay.
I'm sorry, I was monologuing there. I apologize.
You began that with a question and went into a monologue. I think that April is overly optimistic. I know that everyone else on the internet is an expert on weather and protests, but I know from personal experience in 2020, because I was in Minneapolis during several protests when it was way colder than it is now, and they were very enthusiastic. So I think that we're using weather as an excuse to also put off our preparations a little bit further down the road. The weather's bad. They're not going to do it right now. No, I think things are getting worse. We're actually seeing openly armed people out there protesting, which we're going to talk about in a minute. So I think that we are on a very, very short wire, and just one more incident, which the left is trying to instigate every single day, will push us over the brink. And some might say we're already over the brink because, as we both know, at the moment, state forces have been mobilized on one side and federal forces are being mobilized on the other. And there's going to be a crisis of leadership in the midst of that. So,
but before we go any further, I meant to do this during the ad segment, but I didn't do it. I apologize. Low-key LARP at the beginning of the show dropped a gifted 5 subs for us. Thank you, brother. Really appreciate that. I don't know if you're still in the chat or not, but oh yeah, he's still in the chat there. But I thank you for your continued patronage and support of the show. Really appreciate that. Derna for $5 says, looking more like Canada's illegal occupation of Quebec is an emergency that needs rectifying. Joe, I remember the Quebecois, like those separatist terrorists, like, what was it in the 90s? They were like a thing.
They were seriously a thing. They were like literally actually blowing things up.
That's what I'm saying. They were like Weathered Underground kind of serious. But I always thought they were kind of clowns and whatnot. But now maybe they were onto something, Joe. Maybe we need
now they're trying to hold the whole thing together, and the rest of the country wants to leave. Fine, we'll let them leave. And we made a mistake when we gave Quebec and Ottawa back at the end of the War of 1812.
Jay Clark responds to him there in the chat. It says, "Nah, we're just taking the oil. The Quebecois are precisely as lovable as the Kurds."
Yeah, exactly. That's why we went Alberta. That's where the oil is. Let's just take Alberta.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Quebec is leading the gun control push. I know that.
Isn't that ironic? They were fiercely separatists. Now they're like, no, you must have no guns.
Yeah.
Hey, and I know you Canadians like, wow, he must really be from Quebec. But I just hang around with Steven Crowder, and I know this.
I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Lance Corporal Veteran for $2 says the non-restrictive warfare in action. Yeah. All right, let's get into it now. Just take the syrup just because. I mean, Maine's got great syrup. I don't know that we need any of their.
I'm going to put Michigan maple syrup against the Canadian.
Okay, fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I think American maple syrup is just because we don't worship the maple tree doesn't mean our syrup isn't any good.
Yeah.
All right,
Albert, you're right. The Albertans, ironically, Albert's talking about Albertans, will not relinquish their firearms under any circumstances.
So, I mean, I've got with this first piece of video Watchers got queued up. The poster says basically, if you haven't figured out, this is the beginning of a second Civil War. I'm going to just correct one thing. We've been in the second Civil War for a while. This is just another flare up in that ongoing Civil War. I'll be honest with you, Joe. I think the Civil War goes back to essentially during the original Trump administration when they basically the unlawful coup. Administrative coup against Donald Trump that started under the Obama administration. I
would do you one better and say it began during the reign of Obama the first, and when his entire goal, he even said it out loud and everyone cheered him on, was to fundamentally transform the United States. So,
yeah. Yeah, you could argue. I think that if this guy thinks this is the beginning, he's a little late to the party. But I'm just glad people are starting to wake up to see what this is, like here. So what you got here is the federal building. We've showed this on several shows previously, and if you've noticed, Joe, I think the numbers of federal officers is increasing. You got to love that guy's American flag face mask. I'm here for that.
So here's what happened differently this last weekend, and I'm not even sure how old this one is because I'm not sure this shows correctly what's going on. Minneapolis sent out their sheriff's department and some police to keep the protesters off the road.
It's actually the sheriff who is doing it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Not the chief of police. The police are doing nothing.
Another interesting note on that, by the way, is that I hear that, I mean, as of yesterday, it was 80 Minneapolis police officers who have resigned and
Signed up
applied to
for
join
ICE.
ICE.
And I bet the Minneapolis police chief wears his very cool leather jacket while he watches his wife get it from somebody else.
Well, in fairness, Bovino, our favorite federal law enforcer, also likes his cool jacket. But that being said, he said in a news interview over the weekend that everywhere they've gone, they have plenty of local law enforcement that approach them directly, to include Minneapolis and St. Paul, where the local officers say, hey, listen, I can't do anything to help you, but I really appreciate what you guys are doing. I support you in your mission. We'll do what we can from within where we're at. And he said that a lot of them, just like you had said, a lot of the local law enforcement, they'll take them right off the street, put them in their training program and get them.
Bovino actually said specifically that if local cops start to support them in official capacities, that they will support them. The border or the ICE will support them legally.
Yeah. Well, the problem is that, you know, once ICE's focus goes somewhere else, then you start having those guys get backdoored, and once ICE is out of the area, it's kind of harder for them to get that support. But yeah, I think that you're going to see guys just say, well, the federal money is better, and I can get the fuck out of Minneapolis. Sign me up.
And I've got a supportive administration ahead of me. However, that all goes away. It's a short-term job at best, because the left has already said ICE is disbanded and eliminated when they take power again.
Exactly what we called for some of these other law enforcement, like the ATF. They basically said they're going to do to ICE, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did it. They changed the INS, back during the Clinton's term in office, because INS, yeah. I wanted this next one. Before we kind of get into the nitty gritty of what's going on the street level there, and it's not just Minneapolis. There's a lot of other places in the country I want to focus on. I want to give you some hope, right? Regular people are approaching these, these on the ground journalists, the citizen journalists, and they don't necessarily always support ICE. Some are scared into supporting ICE, but this is a good example of somebody who has a fairly clear view of what he thinks about the Somalis in the area.
Somalians ain't our people. They told them Somalians don't fuck with us when they came over here. That's why they don't fuck with us. And we don't fuck with them. You notice we ain't trying to help them cocksuckers. And then look at all the money that they stole. Look at all that $9 billion and then put nothing in the community. Fuck them Somalis. It's just like George Floyd. His stupid ass family got $20 million and they didn't even build a community in the city. They just left with the money. Fuck George Floyd too. Put all that shit on to whatever you filming, put that shit out there, because that's how it go. When you don't fuck with the community and help the community, fuck you.
We need to get this guy on the show. I mean,
I'm telling you, man, this guy's, eloquent. I mean, he's clearly a scholar and a gentleman, and right thinking. So
they took that money and left. Now look at them. They all broke. They got tricked out of all that money. They ain't got shit.
About George Floyd family.
Oh, for $20 million. Come on, man. Quit playing with the game. All this shit is a farce. Somalians ain't our...
All the shit's in Farsi. I'm sorry.
Somalians took all the Somalians, if you know what I'm saying. Man. Derna, well said. People don't think that be how it is, but they do. Exactly right.
All right. Let's see. Let's get into this. So I had a post earlier in the day. People are, nature is healing. As this now, this is, I don't think this is I think this is an older piece of video, but I thought this is probably a scene you're going to see across the country. I just posted it in the private chat. This is no, I guess I posted the wrong thing here. Let me try again. There we go.
Oh, that dude was a
Yeah. I'm sorry.
reference. Ah.
Get out of the fucking way, you fuckhead!
I think this is going to be a scene you're going to see repeated often over the next few weeks.
Punch my car.
At least 2 years old.
I know, but I appreciate that. I think it's a timely reminder of what needs to happen.
Don't stop, boys. Seriously, don't stop when you throw them on the ground. I've seen way too many videos like that. Ground and pound.
Yeah, he needs to be discombobulated when you walk away.
Should I hit him again? Yeah, one more time.
It's not a sucker punch if you do it as
there's your bat. And here's the problem.
Anyway,
everyone will call 911 and report on a man beating another man on the side of the street. This is why you need a camera in your car and a camera you can wear.
Yeah. In fact, I found a pretty good one. That the camera in your car, you pull it off and then you slap it on a little rig that sits on your lapel, and it's the same camera.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't know if you guys saw this. This is a guy who was just kind of doing his thing, and he even says he was part of their group, but I guess reasons, and so this is what they'll do to their own people. Well, what would they do to you?
Jay Clark reminds us to remember what Grandmaster Ken taught us: re-stomp the groin. Yes.
Yeah. Re-stomp the groin. I posted it in the regular chat.
I'll drop my car camera chat, and Washer can drop his.
Oh, I'm gonna have to find mine. I
got mine right here, so give me just a second and I'll drop it in there.
Mine was at Walmart on clearance for $5. I could not believe it.
Yeah.
I found out why too, and it was a way simpler thing than you would imagine. They sent them out with faulty fuses in their car chargers, so a 20-cent fuse makes it workable.
I just posted that next video in the private chat.
Oh yeah, this one's bad. So yeah, here's the talk is that like they were running around town all day trying to find anybody who they claim was associated with ICE, and they saw this guy wearing camouflage, and wearing camouflage was enough to say, "Oh my God, you must be a right winger."
He clearly hit his head on the ground when he went down because he's completely discombobulated.
Watch out! He's one of us. He's one of us. Okay, good. You all right, dude? You all right? He's one of us. How do we know? I was with him earlier. Why you get ran out earlier? I don't know. He's one of us. I'm with them. Trust me.
I don't know if he was one of them.
No, he was. No, he legit. No, he legitimately.
Watch what happens next, though. This is the only thing that I thought that he was one of them at this point. But then watch what happens.
You all right, man?
No, I mean they've been running around just helping anybody who gets beat up. It doesn't matter what side they're on.
I know. I'm just saying. But if you were also a
well, again, it was an assault. It doesn't matter who the assault is on.
I got it. I'm just saying that I just thought it was really interesting how this happened. I think this is exactly what should happen. Let's assume he is not connected to ICE at all. But to think that there are no undercover ICE agents or federal officers in these crowds would be silly.
I hope they make arrests. I don't think they do, though.
I don't think so either. I think they just extract him and then they get out. There are a lot of officers in that van.
Here's the thing: every person who gets shoved away and thrown to the ground by these guys could have been arrested, and in this case, should have. In order to make this end, you have to start arresting people and holding them.
There's
Listen,
a lot of complications.
Y'all can get mad about my links, but I don't make them, and they're not suspicious. Sorry. Don't click it then. I'm not in charge of the link Amazon gives me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. These links are legit, guys.
They're legit links. Here's the deal. If you click on Joe's link as opposed to just going to it on Amazon, because Joe gave you the link, Joe gets a small percentage of your purchase. It's an Amazon affiliate program.
Right,
yeah, it's like a percentage of a percentage, but still.
It's not like I'm creating, not like I have a whole suite here that makes links for me. I click the product, it gives me the link. That's how it works.
All right, here's another. So what we're seeing here are just indications of. So one of the things that I posted about that previous video was that anytime you have somebody said, "Oh, the police aren't able to kind of, like people are just running wild and the police can't do anything." You got to understand the police in America were designed for a fairly liberal, law-abiding, liberal, little L, not capital L. Law-abiding, generally moral, society. They're not huge and they're not authoritarian like you see in authoritarian countries, right? That being said, Joe, how many in a city like Minneapolis? How many total police do you think they have? What, 10,000 max?
In Minneapolis, I would say probably
maybe less.
Like 3,200, maybe.
Yeah. So my point is that they have to police the entire metropolitan area, right? And these are big cities, right? And then, oh, by the way, half of them are asleep or at home at any given time, right? So the point is that there just aren't that many cops out there, and so all there have to be is maybe 5 or 10 hot spots in one night, and you're waiting 30, 40 minutes before a police officer shows up, and by the time that happens, the guy's bleeding dead in the gutter, and nobody's there to help him by the time the cops show up.
Well, that very well could have already happened several times here. The deal is, as far as I have seen from information coming off the streets, if the call has anything at all to do with protests or sounds like it might have anything at all to do with protests, they're not responding. They're not even like responding to observe. They're just not responding at all.
Yeah. Let's play this next one. Basically, it's a report that ICE people are not being allowed to stay in,
Well, nobody is. The Hilton closed down.
This is a developing story, but we are now learning that ICE and Border Patrol agents are being kicked out of this hotel, the DoubleTree by Hilton in St. Paul downtown. The hotel says it's due to safety concerns. We did confirm with the hotel that all guests did receive a memo that all government employees have to be checked out by noon. The other guests.
So this is deceptive reporting. The
hold
hotel is shutting down.
Let's listen to the whole thing and then we'll break it apart.
Okay, but you don't frame it that way to say it honestly.
I got it. Let's listen to the whole thing and then we'll chop it up versus doing it.
We
so
just
go back a little ways because I missed what he said.
Are allowed to stay. The hotel says it's due to safety concerns. We just walked in, tried to book a room. We couldn't. They did confirm that it is closing. We do see a truck now leaving. Now, this is still a developing situation here in downtown Minneapolis. We're also learning that President Trump also has the Army's 11th Airborne Division on standby to be deployed here to Minnesota. So once again, this is still a developing situation on what's going on here on the ground. But just even driving around the city, you see lots of anti-ICE signs, anti-Border Patrol signs, and now ICE agents here will have to find a new room after federal employees are now being kicked out. We're still trying to learn some more information. We'll see another vehicle there also exiting the hotel as we were approaching noon. The other guests are allowed to finish the reservation. Still a developing situation here from St. Paul downtown.
Okay, so it sounds like the hotel is closing. You can't make new reservations, but the ICE and the government employees have to leave today, and other people can stay until the end of their reservation. Is that what you're tracking, Watcher?
That is not what they have issued as an official statement, and that's not what other places have said. Other places have said that the Hilton's closing all locations in the Minneapolis area. They're closed now.
Well, that's different than what he's reported differently. So, take it all with a grain of salt then. Let's go. Pull this next one up, right? This next one we talked about before the show. I think it's really interesting what strange bedfellows coming out against ICE makes.
Reporting. We're here to arrest a child sex offender. And you guys are out here honking.
No, we're press.
Sure you are.
That vehicle right there is honking and impeding our investigations while we're trying to arrest a child sex offender. That's who you guys are protecting. Insane.
I will point out that officer is very clearly Hispanic.
Yeah. Right? Well, there are more Hispanics in ICE. There are actually more Hispanics in ICE than I think there are whites. Notice
the handler trying to get the vehicle to disengage and get away from him.
Right? Exactly right.
Yeah. My favorite is all the people screaming, well, they said they're press. They always say they're press. Get fucked. Yeah. I do not care. Being pressed doesn't give you the right to interfere with arrest operations, which is what they were doing.
Yeah, just being in the street, blocking access for other ICE vehicles makes you potentially an accessory to any of the obstruction that goes on there, or guilty of obstruction.
I'll give you this shocking statistic that the left hates. In the United States Border Patrol, as there is a requirement to be 100% fluent in Espanol, the U.S. Border Patrol is heavily overrepresented with Hispanics.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way it is. They actually hate illegal aliens. Crazy.
So one of the pieces of information that he dropped in that last report, though, was about the potential on-call status of several battalions from the 11th Airborne Division out of Wainwright and Richardson up in Alaska. Joe, I'm sure you've been monitoring that. What's your take?
I'm sorry. Say that again. I was answering.
11th Airborne deploying potentially to Minneapolis in maybe a response to an Insurrection Act declaration, or theoretically,
at the very least, he's going to deploy them just as he did the 1st Marine Division in order to protect federal property. He doesn't need an Insurrection Act declaration to do that. So he can claim that federal building is under such violent assault that he needs to reinforce it. He can do that with no problem. But the 11th Airborne Division makes sense. They're out of Alaska. They're cold weather fighters. They've got the gear and the training to conduct sustained light infantry units in the winter. And that gets you to the spring and you can do someone different. But I think it makes sense. I think there probably will be an Insurrection Act declaration because the governor, if you notice, made his deployment like within 2 hours of the federal announcement being made. The governor is trying to forestall an Insurrection Act declaration. We'll see what the Minnesota National Guard actually does when they get on station. They claim they're there to assist law enforcement, but they didn't say which law enforcement, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be the tell. By the way, if this does happen, you will see the federal commander take command of the National Guard. That's 100% will happen.
The next thing I want to talk about here is the storming of the church. It's a Baptist church in Minneapolis. This is probably, of all the things that I've seen, this is the one that is absolutely the most, just egregious and absolutely crazy.
Wait till you hear why too. This is my favorite part because I've tracked down the supposed info they had. Actually, I guess I'll just spoil it. The pastor has the same name as a guy who's in Border Patrol, but that guy who's in Border Patrol has been on camera several times, like in a suit, like giving public statements, and looks abso-fucking-lutely nothing like the pastor, and that is very obvious to anybody who does even an ounce of research.
All right, I'm start dropping links for the church stuff. This first one is Don Lemon, and so Don Lemon was a key piece of this, and I want to just show how he was absolutely had foreknowledge of what happened, and Don Lemon should be charged, probably federal
100%.
civil rights violation.
Into Minneapolis.
Sorry, go ahead, Joe. I had it on.
It should be a FACE Act violation, which prevents this kind of activity on both sides. You can't disrupt an abortion clinic by prayer. You can't disrupt a place of prayer by demonstration. So he should get the same treatment those praying in front of abortion clinics got, which is a 3 a.m. no-knock raid.
Yep.
A little bit ago.
Although, before we get into this, I will say I agree that that's what you should get. But for all the people screeching that it should have happened within an hour or two of this happening and using that as evidence that nothing's happening, grow the fuck up. Like, what? Do you think the abortion people got their doors kicked in that night? No, it was weeks later. It takes time to organize these things.
And did some reconnaissance on the ground, speaking to an organization there that's gearing up for resistance and protest. I've been pleasantly surprised to see the community coming together. Diverse community. If you see this, when we first pulled up, we're like, wait a minute, which operation are we at? And as it turns out, because we're like, well, this is kind of MAGA coded, right? So the American flag or whatever, but these are resistance protesters. They're planning an operation that we're going to follow them on. I can't tell you exactly what they're doing, but it's called Operation Pull Up. And it's Takima Armstrong, and she has been doing this since George Floyd.
Say again?
I wanted to pause for a second and point out a legal point. The fact that he knew what was about to happen and knew the name of the operation makes him part of a conspiracy to do what's about to happen. So
conspiracy against rights, I believe, is the actual charge. Yep. Or conspiracy against, yeah, anyway.
Dante Wright and others, where they surprise people, catch them off guard, and hold them to account. And so that's what we're doing here. And then after we do this operation, you'll see it live. And these operations are surprise operations. Again, can't tell you where they're going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he knows where they're going, but he can't say.
Somebody was just asking, and this is a perfect example. They're like, why is TikTok still allowed to be around? Well, because where else would these people snitch on themselves?
Yeah, fair. I mean, the good news here is if the Trump DOJ decides they want to go after these people, it's all on video.
Well, that's what they've said.
Bobby put out a statement on this video and this whole thing, and she said, we'll see what the state does. And I reminded her that the FACE Act is a federal law and the state can't act on it, so it's up to her. Guess what she's going to do? Nothing.
Well,
yeah, I've got her post here later. I've dropped a bunch of links here, so let's go through.
One administration caused a great deal of chaos and havoc and danger for American citizens, and another is trying to correct that.
Do you believe that? Why honestly,
Okay.
let me talk to you
Listen,
just on
you're
the
not a
facts.
journalist.
Yes, I am. I want to give you the facts.
No.
Did you know that undocumented people and immigrants commit far less crime than American citizens?
We're done here. We're done here.
Than natural born Americans.
Yeah, when you specifically use the police officers all nationwide in order to cover that up and characterize them as other things, sure, maybe. Like, nobody believes your fake ass bullshit numbers anymore. This argument doesn't work anymore. We understand that you've been lying to us about everything the entire time.
You won't listen.
If you could ask,
I'm giving you. No, we're not going to listen because you're a Marxist piece of shit that all you do is lie. You don't use words for communication. You use words to manipulate. That's it.
The facts. It is.
Give me facts. I would have a conversation.
But I can respond to you.
No,
Did
Jesus stand with the oppressed?
Because he doesn't want to listen to facts.
That's my facts.
That's the interesting thing about this is that they won't listen to facts.
So here's the thing. This tells you he's not reporting. He's advocating.
Mhm.
And when you are on private property and you are blocking somebody from leaving that private property, you're fully inside their building and you're blocking them from leaving, you're committing a crime and you can be punched in the face legally. I'm just throwing it out there in case anyone was wondering. You can punch Don Lemon in the face. This pastor should have punched Don Lemon in the face.
Should have, absolutely.
This is amazing what he gets away with here.
If they mention his name so that I can look up what the actual guy looks like. But like legitimately, what happened, I'm not even kidding here. This is why they're here. This guy has the same name as a guy who is in ICE and has been on camera and looks nothing like him and is 20 years older than him.
This is unacceptable. It's shameful. It's shameful to interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship.
But there were folks who will say,
I have to take care of my flock.
okay, but listen, we live in there's a constitution in the First Amendment to freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest.
Oh, does his church not get it?
Worship Jesus.
Push pause.
You don't have freedom of speech inside someone else's home, right?
Right.
This church is a private business. You have no freedom of speech inside a private business. Anyway, I just wanted to make that clear.
No, it's absolutely true. Remember the other part of this. They do not care about your rights. They do not care about your First Amendment. They trample it at every fucking opportunity. They only bring it up ever when they can twist it to use as a weapon against you. That's it.
By the way,
Stop
the
giving
First
these people
Amendment,
benefit.
the First Amendment also guarantees me as a Christian that the government will intervene on my behalf when someone does exactly this.
Which is essentially, basically stopping their right to worship as they choose.
Correct.
Contract
if you want to hector,
broken.
if you want to stand on public property outside of the church and hector them as they come out because you think they're a bunch of MAGA people, whatever, that's actually okay. I mean, it's not okay, but it's legal, right? What you have done when you invade their space, you've actually that's federal territory, and they're not gonna do anything.
You should pick him up and physically remove him. The modern church has gotten so soft. What do you think Jesus and the disciples would have done? Let him scream at them? No, they would have dragged him out and thrown him out in the street where he belongs.
Right. Just to remember, for anybody who thinks that Jesus was just like a turn the cheek guy, remember what he did with the money changers? He got a fucking tuba. He ran them out with a tuba for.
Making your own weapons and driving people out is not outside the realm of possibility. And as Josh Clark says, Don would have lost an ear. Peter carried a sword for a reason. Yeah,
because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world is Jesus Christ.
I want to be very respectful. Please don't push me, though.
We're here.
Please don't. You know what?
Oh, I'm going to push you.
No,
I would at that point. I just would have shoved him and said, "What are you going to do?"
I said, "Please don't put your camera in my face. Get out."
Yeah. No,
I'm going to forcibly remove you from my from the property that I'm in control of here.
Yeah, we must cease being tolerant. That's we must cease being tolerant immediately.
I think it's funny how he's going to get in someone's face and in their space and push them back while telling them, "Don't push me." No.
Yeah. He's pushed
As
into
I told
there.
you all just a minute ago, in this particular case, Don Lemon can be punched in the face and should be.
Oh, and charged. Let's be clear where this needs to go immediately.
Oh, listen, here's the best part about private rights in every state the citizens arrested.
By Don Lemon.
Sorry, this is playing, and I
Today in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
There we go.
Not only can you knock him out and punch him in the face, you can then hold him so he can be arrested. Even better.
This next clip, I want to set up this next clip. So this is a pastor at a different church basically saying what all Christians need to hear about this.
Today in Minneapolis, Minnesota, a group of activists led by Don Lemon stormed a Baptist church by the name of Cities Church during their worship time. They were screaming and chanting, disrupting the singing and the preaching because they suspected an ICE officer may attend the church. This is a violation of what is known as the FACE Act. And not only do we condemn this act, but tonight I want to demand that the Department of Justice investigate what took place in Minneapolis, apprehend those who broke the law, and arrest them accordingly. We must protect religious liberty in this country. As people meet to worship God, they have been given legally the right to enter, to worship, and to leave their place of worship. The Lord Jesus said, "In the world you will have tribulation, but be of good cheer, I have overcome the world." I have preached for many years that there will come a time when we'll find out who are Christians by label and by convenience, and who are Christians by conviction. And certainly we're in.
Oh, well, that seemed like that was a weird place to cut it off.
2020, I told everyone that Christian men needed to defend their churches, whether the church wanted you to or not. Just show up and be outside. It's that time again, right? Seriously, this just needs to happen. Like Squishy Hunter says in other churches, Don may well have been shot. My old church in Detroit, Don might have gotten shot. They have a very serious armed security team. And first of all, Don would have never made it into the chapel. He would have been forcibly removed long before that. But churches have the right, and have at several churches, to forcibly remove people. Don't let it happen.
Well, just like any establishment has the ability to trespass people from their premises, right? So this is a little bit about who this lady that organized this whole thing was. Of course, she's one of these black Marxists that came out of the BLM. She probably got a shit ton of funding through that movement. She's probably pocketed 80% of it and then uses the meager 20%, if that, probably less, to kind of fund her activities. So let's learn a little bit from her about her, shall we? Let's see. Yeah, go ahead and play the video.
Why are you doing this?
This is Operation Pull Up, more of a clandestine operation. We show up somewhere that is a key location. They don't expect us to come there, and then we disrupt business as usual. So that's
lawyer.
I'll point out that she gets paid by Democracy Now! If you haven't looked up your local Democracy Now! Chapter, you should. I just had a discussion last night with a local lawyer about Flathead Democracy Now! And they are a serious disruptive group that organizes things all over the country. So. Yeah. By the way, she claims to be a pastor, and if you disrupted anyone's church service, you're not a pastor. She doesn't meet the biblical requirements to be a pastor anyway. So
yeah, I was gonna say that there's no female pastors in the first place. This is all a fucking farce.
Community leaders followed in a separate press conference from the Hennepin County Government Center in downtown Minneapolis, including civil rights attorney, activist, and founder of Racial Justice Network, Nakima Levy-Armstrong. That's the lady that we just saw. I would be unequivocally clear. What just happened here was not. I'm sorry. This is a different person. I thought she was art. Yeah. Nakima Levy-Armstrong. Yeah. Let's see. I want to be unequivocally clear. What happened here was not lawful. It was not justified. It must not go unanswered, she said. Officers are trained not to fire into. This is something regarding something else, not about the church. Officers are trained to not fire into moving vehicles except for the most extreme circumstances when there is no alternative and an immediate threat exists. A vehicle turning away from the officers, it wasn't turning away. He was standing in front of it. You fucking moron.
I'm going to agree with her. A vehicle turning away from the officers does not meet the standard. She's right, but that's not what happened.
That's right. Yeah. That doesn't mean that's what happened.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see the next one here. Yeah. This just kind of goes into Democracy Now! Receives grants from various private foundations. They do not publicly maintain an exhaustive, up-to-date list of all current or past funders on their website, but reliable sources, including Wikipedia, Influence Watch, Park Foundation's own records, and historical reports, consistently name the following as known grant makers: the Park Foundation, the Ford Foundation, Lennon Foundation, the J.M. Kaplan Fund, the Annenberg Foundation, Novo Foundation, Craigslist Charitable Foundation. That's interesting. The Pacifica Radio Foundation. So, I mean, you know, half of these are ones that we know are vast supporters, you know, to include the Ford Foundation and Annenberg Foundation. They've been supporting Marxist networks since the 90s that I can remember. Rubber baby buggy bumpers. 3 times. I know, right? It's hard. I'm a moron, so I mean, I can barely read. You guys should be lucky. All right. I mean, it could be worse. You know, just when I feel like I'm the dumb one in the conversation, this lady enters the chat and shows us exactly who is really the Mensa material in Minneapolis. There we go. Add to stage. There we go. And she's obviously talking about how the Somalis made Minneapolis what it is. Her and her one bottom tooth there.
We was Kangs. Wakanda forever.
Her eye not quite going in the same direction as her other eye.
No, that's actually okay because one eye is on alert for ice and the other eye is focused on the camera.
Yeah, thank you, Joe. I she's got the broadened field of view, you know. So yes.
Derna, that woman has 2 great grandparents.
I'll be honest with you. I like one of the posts that says, "Hey, Grok, can you please translate what she's saying?" And she says, "This is what Grok says." She says, "You should thank us for our success. Somalis brought fame and money to the random Western state. Minnesota would be nothing without us." Exact wording can be varied by dialect. Oh, she wasn't lying. I thought that was part of the joke. All right, so just to get a little heads up on some of these other people. So this guy was involved in the church invasion as well. So let's see.
What's your deal? You don't believe in the Constitution? Is that what it is? Why'd you get paid for this? I don't get paid at all. I'm a volunteer.
That's not
Bullshit.
true at all. You do, in fact, get paid, you dumb piece of shit. We found out where your GoFundMe is.
This guy protesting. This was what he did. That's what he did in D.C.
Christians, all these comfortable white people who are living lavish, comfortable lives while children are dragged into concentration camps. You're living real life, nice lives with your lattes, doing absolutely nothing for your Latino and Somali brothers and sisters.
I'm actually completely fine with this guy getting slotted in the parking lot before he even makes it to the building.
Like this guy's voice, I would automatically up my level of force. Seriously, because this guy is literally insane.
Yep.
Yeah. This guy is, like I said, this is almost on that level of just being demonic.
Anyway,
No,
let's see
there's no
where he makes his money.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
He's a lumbersexual. And he's okay. No, he's not okay.
Let me find that.
The good news is that while the Minneapolis law enforcement is completely laid down for the Marxist left, I mean, I'm sure there's some good officers in there, but if they're good, they're either leaving right now or they've already left.
Watcher, didn't we have his GoFundMe up earlier?
Yeah, I do. I'm trying to find in many places. I'm just trying to find one of them because I've shared a lot of stuff since then.
While you look for that, let's listen to this. This is a Florida sheriff, Grady judge, just refused to comply with the mainstream media and call illegal immigrants undocumented immigrants. They call them illegal immigrants because that's what they are. Let me play this video.
Participating in the 287G program, how many undocumented immigrants have been transferred?
Well, I don't call them undocumented immigrants. I call them illegal immigrants because that's what they are. The reason they're not documented is they're not legal. Okay? They're illegal immigrants.
Out laughing.
74% of the illegal immigrants that we've detained have had criminal charges against them. Okay. The other 26% were riding with them. Okay. So when we stop a car, we run a warrants check on everybody in the car. When there's a call for service, we run a warrants check on the victim, the suspect, and all the witnesses. Okay. We call that 26% collateral. But 3 out of 4 of them have committed another criminal charge. Now think about that for a second. They couldn't commit that crime if they weren't here, but they did. So now you're having to take your taxpayer money and my taxpayer money and pay for the prosecution of those folks, pay for the public defender that defends them, pay for the jail and the prison sentence, depending on what the charges are. So, and the majority of the 26% that was left out of the, 74% of them had criminal charges. They were what we call collaterals, and most of them were with the person committing the crime. And that's the numbers that we have so far. And those, so how many illegal immigrants have we arrested this year? We've arrested 557 that have criminal charges as well as they're here illegally. That's just this year. But here's the thing and let me focus on this. And I know on social media people have already tuned out, but you need to tune back in and listen to this. The reason that you see ICE flooding into Minnesota and Minneapolis and into Los Angeles, into these big cities, is because they refuse to turn over the illegal immigrants who are being arrested by the local police department where there's outstanding ICE warrants. If they would have simply, instead of fighting back and pushing back against the federal government, instead of violating the federal law, which is what these leaders have done there, if they just said, look, ICE, we don't want our police actively engaged in ICE enforcement, but you can come in our jails, and as we make arrests, you can go through your evaluation process and remove those criminals that are committing crime against the citizens of the United States and against each other. You can remove them. Then they wouldn't be flooding these big blue areas with all of these ICE agents.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
So here you go.
So I just thought that guy's worth listening to because you do have some law enforcement out there that get it. So this guy has helped me scold demons for their bad life decisions.
Ironically, right in his thing. Huh?
What is it?
Chinese people donating money to him. Weird.
The Jung Chong, yeah, right. 500.
So this guy is getting, he's soliciting money to travel the country and do this. You know what's going to happen when he gets to 45,000? He's going to ask for 100,000.
Yeah.
And he's going to keep on going. Good work if you can get it, I guess.
Well, that's
By
just
I'm gonna
the
post that
public.
link. You all need to go and report that because he broke federal law and assaulted people. That's against their fundraising terms. That should get shut down and the money should get yoinked. That's what is supposed to happen.
Yeah, he's like, you got to say he's the man pointing the mirror. I mean, he's just two Spider-Mans, right? Pointing at each other. That's who he is.
Yeah, right. I love that meme. All right. We are right at the 2-hour mark, guys. Anything else in the whole kind of domestic potpourri that we didn't cover today? I feel like there was a lot to cover, and I just kind of went from thing to thing. But
I'm gonna give some wisdom from Kay while we were at dinner the other night. In this current environment, carry a gun. And you might say, well, I don't have a state permit, or I'm going to a different state, whatever. Do it anyway. Your life is worth more than that. I'd rather face a judge than the coroner. And these people are literally insane. You heard the way that guy was talking. He's willing to kill people. And you are the people he's willing to kill. You should be 100% prepared to defend your life, regardless of what the law says. The other side has thrown the law out the window. I don't know why you continue to hold yourself to it. I'm not advocating breaking laws. I'm advocating staying safe.
Well, you're just advocating the same thing you've been saying for a long time. We're already in a civil war. Act like it.
Yeah, you're already in a civil war. You need to act like it. And I'm going to quote Peter on this one. We must obey God rather than the words of man.
That's a good place. That's a good place to end it there, Joe. I think wise words. Hey, look into the week, Joe. Where's your crystal ball saying we're going?
We're going to more violence in Minneapolis, and we are going to war in the Middle East. So those will be the two big things to watch for. By the way, we're not unaware of the guy with the stupid AR. We just didn't show him because there was enough stupidness out there.
Today. So clearly, fat guy, middle of the street, AR, one magazine, no plate carrier. I mean, like I said in the joke that I posted on X, he read the Antifa manual. Step 1, buy gun. Step 2, shoot ICE. Step 3, profit.
By the way, I will point out that he broke Minnesota law. There's a video of him standing in the street with his AR, 100% legal. But then he drove to the gas station and put gas in his car.
No, so that was a meme.
Not legal in Minnesota.
That was a meme. They were matching it up with the whole young urban youths might be here. I hate young urban youths meme.
Well, it's entirely possible, but it still broke Minnesota law. So
all right.
Boy, that's actually a really good meme right there.
Right.
Yeah.
It's factual though, right? 100%.
Well, except for you've got your tokens. The tokens really exist on the left. You know, like that Armstrong lady from the church.
Was a man. Anyway, I'm sorry.
I have something to share with the folks before they leave for the weekend, or before they step into their new week this week. It's corny, it's cheesy, but goodness, do I love it. And you should remember to never give up. Oh shoot, hold on. Of course the video is not going to work.
And hey, if you're going to be an idiot and have a suppressed rifle length AR, don't take this stock off and put a pistol brace on it like a moron.
Yeah, a pistol brace is absolutely a compromise. It is not as good as a regular stock.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Oh. If you've never seen this, it's legitimately one of my favorite things. See, he's out there in 10 degrees Celsius harvesting Asiatic crabs. You can do it. Never give up.
Goku, he's really changed since he had to actually get a job.
What I love is that Joe just said Goku like unironically.
Yeah, well, specifically, this is the guy who did the Ninja Warrior thing. That's why they had a commercial of him. Is because like he's He's such a stud. I love him.
Yeah, he's one of the guys who got up to Mount Midoriyami, right? Like, you know, like who actually won. My thing to end the day on is this.
Leaflet's
This is
new anime.
This brought me and my daughter together again today, and so
we have to praise the creator first. Thank you, Leaflet. These are amazing.
Yeah, they are amazing. He made. If you haven't seen the music video, the Osmongold music video, absolutely go and see that.
Put him in the box. Yes, so good.
Anyway, point is I wanted to show this because I would watch this anime. If you make this anime, I would watch this.
お母さん、俺アイスに入ったんだ。すごいわ、氷ちゃん。お母さん、鼻が高いわ。本当にこれで良かったのかな。みんな、私が悪いって言うんだもん。アイスだ。武器を置いてゆっくり撃て。撃たないで、銃を離せ。怖い。毎日が怖いの。でも、私はこの国を救いたい。
まずいね。法令が執行されるというのは。いらないぞ。アイスは出ていけ。アイスはいらない。コミュニティを取れ。
お母さん、知り合いが車にはねられて、それで彼はそうするしか。
Joe, you might not get this part of the joke, but part of the joke is that so many of these Japanese animes, the actual Japanese title is so long. It's like a paragraph.
This is the most anime title ever. It says, "I joined ICE to save my country, but now I'm the villain."
I don't understand why y'all feel this way about me.
Well, I wasn't trying to mansplain you.
Like
I know that's what I.
But back then, an anime was called like Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, you guys think I'm sort of an idiot. I get it, but
well, no, I was surprised by this trend because back when I was a kid, anime was called stuff like Gundam or Dragon Ball Z, and now it's like 5 paragraphs to explain the entire plot.
In fairness, you had Gundam Endless
children who are very much into Asian culture. I mean, it's weird, but.
I can't believe you would patronize Joe like that, Watcher.
Well, actually, I got to be honest here. I'm the anime boomer. I'm not even patronizing Joe. I say that because I didn't know this until like a year ago when people started pointing out, hey, why don't you ever watch any of this new shit? And I was like, new anime? Well, why?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I don't watch really any new anime either. I mean, like I watched my kids had me watch Spy Family. I thought that was all right, but there's a lot of that's like total normie anime.
Yeah, I'm still clearing through stuff from the 80s that I haven't seen. I don't got time for new shit.
Of course, he made this one right here, The Last Rose of Albion. This is the one about Amelia, you know. Pretty damn good. And then the one that I thought was very impressive, and especially if you're like internet lore, was where is the Osmongold one? I thought that was more recently. This is it right here. This is absolutely worth. I'll just play a little bit of this. It's 6 minutes long. We're not watching the whole thing. Osmongold never looked this cool ever again in his life. And the song's a banger, too.
You can tell it's AI because that's way too much hair.
Yeah. And that's fun. So there's all kinds of like deep cut, like internet lore in this. I don't even get all of it. Another death threat, another story. And so like these are all like actual posts where they said like Osmongold legitimately deserved to die. So I thought that was fun. Eat shit and dies as the ghost behind the mask. They want me murdered. Is that such a heavy task? Anyway, that's enough. That if that doesn't wet your whistle, then you know, hey, I can't. The music though was pretty good. I was surprised. This has got to be all anime, all AI music, which I am not a fan of, but I gotta admit, like, that was pretty dope.
I think it's funny how they imply this guy's posting from his parents' basement.
Right, but that's the funny thing is both the communists are saying that that you're just an incel, but you're literally the communist incel in the basement. Pretty funny. All right, Watcher. Anything else?
Yeah, just remember, Space King will never abandon you the way Games Workshop did.
Space King, yeah, they've been pretty on message.
That's it. Although if you are out there and you do want some of the Games Workshop stuff that I had previously been stocking and will no longer be stocking as I no longer do business with Games Workshop, please hit me up on X. I'm probably going to post pictures of that today. I was going to try and get it done yesterday, but I was too busy with some other projects. But yeah, I'll try and get some pictures done today. I've got somebody heading over to the shop to send me pictures. So yeah, that's it.
Juancello, I want to say that I agree with you. SDF, Macross, and UC Gundam for me, I totally agree. I'm an old school Robotech guy. So I'll be honest with you. Some of that,
by the way, is what I'm on right now.
The problem is that some childhood cartoons are hard to go back and watch. They don't hold up as well. The Robotech, I think, holds up better than others. All right, guys, that's all I got for today. Thank you very much. Appreciate you being here with us. We will continue to watch things. If something pops up and we need to do a supplemental show, we will try to go live with that. If not, we will be back at the normal time on Wednesday. Looking forward to we'll get back on track and make sure that the Wednesday episode's a little more structured like we normally do. I want to say thank T for coming on to let us know more about the events coming up. Mountain Readiness is a great series of events, and I can't wait for the CFC to be part of that event this summer. So if you guys haven't done it already, just make sure you get off your butt, get out there. It doesn't have to be the one in Montana, but these are great events in order to build the community.
Come to the one in Montana.
Well, if you live right next door to the one on the East Coast, I get it, but Montana is going to be the one that supports us here.
Travel anyway. Travel to Montana.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, it'll be a great time of year, and the camp is amazing. You're gonna fall in love with it just like we have when you see it. By the way, Lance Corporal veteran for $2 here. Case of leftist high demand, low supply. Yeah, 100%. Sorry, I didn't get that earlier. I just caught it here at the end. All right, guys, that is it. Appreciate you. We'll be back on Wednesday, and until then, stay safe.